Have you ever experienced burnout in your nature journaling? On this week's episode of the show, I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and techniques to help you get over burnout. Tip number 1, reframe your goals. Goals are a great thing, but unrealistic goals or hidden goals that we're unaware of can definitely lead to burnout. It's really important to uncover these. Many of us have noble stated goals that we tell other people and tell ourselves, but we might have other goals underneath that are more outcome dependent. We actually do care what our page looks like, and we might have unrealistic goals about how good the art should look and how much time we should be spending nature journaling, and then we might be judging ourselves on whether we achieve those goals. It's also important to understand that all humans deal with a problem called the planning fallacy. We usually overestimate by 50% what we think we can achieve in a given amount of time. This can lead to being hard on ourselves when we don't reach that goal. So re-examine your goals for nature journaling. Create goals that are more input dependent about the quality of the time that you're going to spend nature journaling instead of what you're going to get out the other side or how other people are going to react to the way your pages look. At least spending some time on this and reframing these goals will help prevent burnout. 2, eat at fancy restaurants. When you go to a fancy restaurant, do they give you a huge portion of food? So much food that when you get done eating it, you don't think you could fit any more in your stomach, or maybe you don't even finish the plate? No! At fancy restaurants, they give you a small amount of food. And when you're done eating that, you're probably still hungry and wanting more. And this is what we have to do with our nature journaling goals. If we're going to set goals, we need to set really small goals so that when we complete that goal, we have this feeling of a good feeling of I could do more, and that will allow you next time to keep nature journaling. If you tell yourself that you're going to nature journal for 2 hours every day, and after that first 2-hour session you're exhausted, it's teaching your brain that this is not something that you want to do again. So eat at fancy restaurants. Tip number 2, set small goals that you will be able to meet and then stop when your timer goes off. It could be 5 minutes. Nature journal for 5 minutes and you'll crush it. And then you'll have this feeling of I can do more, I'm still hungry. And that is a great way to prevent burnout. Number 3, buddy up. Find another person that you can talk to at the very least, or that you can nature journal with. This could be a club, this could be one person, this could be someone in your family. If you are experiencing burnout or feel like you're getting close to burnout, start talking to someone about it, share about it. And if you practice together with other people or a club, you're much less likely to experience burnout. Burnout is usually what happens to the solo artist. And our society puts so much emphasis on this myth of the solo genius and the solo entrepreneur that works so hard until they achieve success. And that puts a huge burden and it's unrealistic. So buddy up with other people and you are much less likely to burn out. Make a date with someone that you'll go nature journaling once a month together. Or if you have to, make your own club and you'll realize that you're gonna burn out much less when you're supported by a community of other people. Number 4, play with your nature journal. A lot of times we get way too serious. We take ourselves too seriously. We make this book into something precious, especially if we get one good page in here. But I recommend, and I used to be afraid to do warm-ups such as this in my nature journal because I didn't want to ruin it. So don't take yourself too seriously and make it more fun, be more silly. Maybe, draw some cartoons in your nature journal. In your metadata, you could draw the other people that you're with, little cartoons of them, play more games, use little maps and make comics, do things like that. Don't get precious on your page and don't hold yourself to too high of a standard. Are you a professional scientist? Are you a professional artist? Probably not. So why do you need to hold yourself to such a serious standard? Well, I know I've done that in the past, and it can lead to burnout. So don't take yourself too seriously. Play with it a little bit, and if you have to, try nature journaling with kids for a little bit. See how it goes when you nature journal with kids. Your pages might start looking more like this, with silly life cycles of humans compared to life cycles of other animals, and you'll probably have a lot more fun, and you'll be less likely to burn out. The other thing that you can do is gamify your nature journaling. I learned this by nature journaling with kids. If I just tell them, we're going to go do a species profile, now look at your plants and try to identify some of the taxonomic features and draw those accurately in your nature journal, they don't like that. Instead, if I make it into a challenge, such as John Muir Laws has created great curriculum for this, such as the mystery plant exercise, make it into a game, make it into a challenge, and it'll be more fun for kids and more fun for you. So one great tip for not burning out is to play with your nature journaling. Make it more fun. Make it like a game. Number 5, mix it up. Have you been relying on one tool the whole time? Hopefully not a Sharpie. If you've been just using graphite, try something different. Hey, maybe even using a Sharpie would be a good way to mix it up. Maybe you have to think about your nature journaling in a totally different way. Maybe use different paper, use a totally different medium, or do something else to mix it up. And this is a great way to prevent burnout. Another thing you could do is experiment with related activities. Maybe you should just go on a day where you just go birding with a group of birders and don't even bring your nature journal. Maybe you should go to some figure drawing classes and try that out. Maybe you need to go on a little trip away from the area where you normally nature journal and get into some ruts and get out of that space. Or if you're nature journaling at home, change up your room, move your desk around, put something different on the walls, bring in a plant, try other types of journaling, try a bullet journal or something like that. Try scents. Scents can be have a big effect on you, and maybe like light some candles or smell something, bring some chocolate. Music, libraries are really inspiring for other people. Contact with animals can be really inspiring. Going to a zoo. Another idea that came from JP is blue rooms, and this is something that some creative people have investigated, but creating a space that is painted blue that will help you get more creative and relax. And last but not least, you could always open up a can of, don't worry, it's just LaCroix. So think about taking care of yourself a little bit, mixing it up, smell something interesting, or give yourself a little injection of newness to prevent burnout. Oh my gosh. Wow. She is such an amazing artist. What? How did they do that? Tip number 6. Beware of social media. Now, I know I'm sharing this to you via social media platforms, and the Nature Journal Club Facebook page is an amazing resource, but be intentional about how you use social media and be aware that you're not just becoming another screen zombie and just consuming nature journaling content instead of creating your own. So pay attention. How much time do you spend on there? How do you feel when you're done? Are you inspired to nature journal, or are you intimidated by the stuff that other people are doing? And how do you compare yourself to other people? That's a really dangerous one, because we're social animals that naturally compare ourselves to our peers. When back in the day, there might be 150 other people that you compared yourself with, and you probably ranked pretty well in that group. Now we compare ourselves to thousands of other people, including some of the best talent in the world, or unusual characteristics that we normally would not be able to compare ourselves to. So we can't compare ourselves to those things. It's unrealistic and it's unhealthy. So if you're feeling bad after looking at other people's posts on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, then be intentional about how you use social media and maybe pull back from it a little bit, because comparing yourself on social media can definitely lead to burnout. Tip number 7, get a massage. Do things to help support your physical needs. When you're nature journaling, you are also your own coach. Make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure that you're well fed, that you're taking care of your basic physical needs as if you were an athlete. What can happen when we're engaged in intellectual activities? We might forget about other things that are going on, and we might be so focused on our goals or on our curiosity or things like that that we're not taking care of our body. And burnout in those cases might actually just be your body telling you you need to take care of yourself. So schedule a massage, do some stretching, make sure you have the right shoes for you, a seat that works, and make sure that you're aware enough to notice when burnout is coming from these basic needs compared to it being something emotional or mental about burning out. You might just need to drink a little bit more water next time you go nature journaling. Last but certainly not least, tip number 8, practice self-awareness. Get to know yourself and turn your nature journaling lens around and point it at yourself. What would happen if you applied the curiosity that you apply to plants and animals to yourself and your own feelings? What if you did an I notice, I wonder, it reminds me of about yourself? What if you started to write some of those things down in your nature journal? What if you put, when you do your metadata about where you're at, what the weather is, what if you wrote down a personal weather report about how you're feeling? Just by putting those words on paper, that venting is going to take some pressure off of you. Second, you're going to start creating a record of how you're feeling, and in this way, you're going to learn what is giving you more energy and what is grinding you down. And just by having that record and starting to see that, you are going to learn so much more, and you are going to be able to prevent burnout. I think a lot of times self-awareness is the key to many of the mental obstacles that can affect us as artists and nature journalers. And so building that self-awareness will definitely help you. Luckily, a journal is the most powerful tool for building self-awareness. We just need to get out of the mindset that we're objective scientists out in the field making objective observations about other things, and realize that we're part of nature and we can be part of the subject matter as well. This is a super powerful tool for learning, and we can point it towards ourselves. That will develop our self-awareness and help us prevent burnout. And because I think self-awareness and journaling are such powerful tools, I have a special offer for the first 5 people that email me at marley339@gmail.com. Those first people will get a free copy of this guided journaling book that I created called The Gateway Journal, Getting Hooked on Something Good. This book has inspirational quotes and prompts, and if you have 5 minutes every day, you can follow through this and develop a journaling practice that helps you develop gratitude, more self-awareness, being more relaxed, de-stressing, and a lot of other benefits. All you need to do is take this book out for 5 minutes a day and follow the prompts while you drink your coffee in the morning. What could be better than that? So the first 5 people that email me at marley339@gmail.com will get a free one of these sent to them. I also have these available for my Patreon members on my Patreon website. So self-awareness, can't talk about it enough. Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Maybe this is how we should think about burnout. So if you can't wait all the way until next week for the next episode of the show, check out these 2 episodes here.